Hello dear students. In previous lecture we have started our second topic, that is sample and sampling. In that we earlier discussed regarding what is sample, what is sampling unit, what is population. So as we already learned that definition of sample, it is nothing but the selected part of the population, or you can say a finite subset of the population. So that is the sample. And sampling unit means what? The number of samples, the group of samples which are taken for the study, that entire becomes the sampling unit. And the population can be defined as a group of individuals about which scientific inferences are to be made. Means it is a certain group of individuals about which we can make a statement, or we can conclude something for it. So such a group of individuals is called as population. In other words, it can also be defined as group of individuals of the same species which are resident of a particular geographical area. After that, we learned about the types of sampling. First of all, we must know what is sampling. Sampling means what? It is the process of taking the sample. Okay, it is a method of taking the sample which is called as sampling. Now basically that sampling is divided into two different types. First one is random sampling, another one is non-random sampling. So what is random sampling? Random sampling is a type of sampling in which each and every individual is having equal chance of being selected. The condition is somewhat different in non-random sampling. In non-random sampling, we will have to apply a certain criteria, a certain parameters while selecting the individuals or while selecting the samples. Now this random sampling is again divided into two different types. Random sampling is divided into your simple random sampling and restricted random sampling. This simple random sampling is again same with the random sampling, that each and every individual is having equal chance. Whereas restricted random sampling is having certain criteria. It is also a type of random sampling, but it is based on certain assumptions. It is again divided into two different types. It is divided into your systematic random sampling, and second is stratified random sampling. Okay, so what is systematic random sampling? Here we have to find the class interval, that is called as K, which is equal to capital N upon small n. Capital N is nothing but your population size, and small n is nothing but your sample size. So in this fashion, we'll study it is about the systematic random sampling. And stratified random sampling, we have to select the samples from each and every strata. Population is divided into strata. Strata means nothing but the groups. Okay. Now that is about the restricted random sampling. In non-random sampling, again it is of two different types: purpose sampling and quota sampling. So what is purpose sampling? As its name is giving us a hint that while selecting or behind selection of the samples, there is some sort of a purpose to be served. For example, if a researcher wants students for its project which is having specialization in plant tissue culture, then he will take the interview and prefer those candidates which have the expertise, some sort of a expertise in the tissue culture, over the other individuals, even if they possess the basic qualifications, even if the all candidate possess the essential qualification. Irrespective of that, the researcher will select those individuals which are having expertise in that particular field. Okay, so there is a purpose to be served, and in that fashion, while selecting, some sort of biasness is involved. Each and every individual will not get the equal chance. The individuals with additional qualification always have a greater chance of being selected over the other individuals. Second is what? Quota sampling. Again, a particular quota is allotted to a group of individuals, and we have to take the individuals from a particular quota. For example, caste reservation is the best example of quota sampling, in which for example OBC is having 19% quota, SC is having 13%. So out of 100 individual, 19 individual must be OBC. Must belong to OBC category. 13 individual must belong to SC category. So that is about the sampling. Today we will study need of randomness and achieving randomness. In that there is a method which is used to achieve the randomness, that is called as the lottery method. So what is this lottery method is? So this lottery method is nothing but it is the most popular and simplest method. So what will we do? So for example, lottery method is very simple method, where if you want to select a particular number, for example, if you are having 50 in your class, you are having 50 students, okay, 50 students, and you have to select the monitor. For the class, okay, and it is decided that it should be based on the lottery method. So what will you do? You will write the names. Of these 50 students. On the different slips, separate slips. They will be folded and they will be mixed. Okay, and randomly the one slip will be taken up, and the name which is in that slip that becomes the monitor. So what is done here? In lottery method, what we have done, we have written the names of 50 students on a separate slips, and they are mixed thoroughly. They are folded and mixed thoroughly, and after that one slip is taken out, and the name which is on that slip becomes the monitor. So it is a lottery, or even the lottery draw that you study. So what happens in lottery draw? You take a lottery, it is for 1 crore or 1 lakh. So you will get a particular number, and that lottery draw includes numbers of all the lotteries which are issued, and out of that, one lucky person whose number is being selected there will get the amount of that money. Okay, So that is the lottery method. Another method is what? Random number tables are there, which are fixed tables which are developed by the statisticians, and they are also used to select the samples randomly. So that is about need of randomness and achieving randomness. Then we'll move towards the final point, that is merits and limitations of the sampling. So what are the merits and what are the limitations? So if we see the merits of samplings are what? First merit is what? We'll see what is the first merit. So sampling require less time. Sampling require less time. Okay. So if you want to analyze a population, it is always better to select the sample rather than studying total population, because study of total population is very tedious and time consuming, whereas if you select a sample from a particular population, so it is always less time consuming. Second thing, again, less cost. So that is also a important thing, less cost. This is also important because as the sample size is less, automatically the expenditure on that survey is also less, so automatically the cost is get reduced. Second thing is what? More reliable results. So sample will give you the more reliable results. Then in sampling also we will get a more detailed information. Okay, more detailed information is obtained in the sampling. So what are the limitations of the sampling? What are the limitations of the sampling? So limitations can be: the survey must be carefully planned and executed. It is carefully planned and executed. So no any kind of negligence is permitted. The survey man-made errors, we have to keep it at a minimum level. Therefore we have to do the survey very carefully. We have to execute it very carefully, and it requires the service of the expert. Expert services are also required for that. So these are what? These are the limitations and these are the merits of the samplings. So here your chapter number 2 ends. In this chapter we basically are primarily focused on what is sample and what is sampling. In that we discuss samples, sampling unit, then your population, then methods of sampling. In that we study random sampling, non-random sampling. In random sampling we study simple random sampling, restricted random sampling. In restricted random sampling we study the systematic random sampling and stratified random sampling. In non-random sampling we discussed purpose sampling and quota sampling. And after that we studied the topic of need of randomness and achieving randomness. Both two ways are there by which we can achieve it. First one is use of random number table, second is use of lottery method. We discussed lottery method, that is the most easy and popular method. You purchase a lottery ticket, that is nothing but the lottery method, where you take a lottery, it is having one unique number. All the lotteries which are issued and the numbers are mixed and one lucky number is selected, that person will get that prescribed amount of money. So that is the lottery method. And lastly we have seen different type of merits and limitations of the sampling. So here we are going to end our second chapter. Thanks for the listening. Thank you.